at this point, we've strengthened our mental mindset. Now let's keep it strong and maintain that strong mental mindset ongoing. And so one tip is, and by the way, I'm going to give you about 4 or 5 different tips here. Take from it whatever you like or apply some of this and some of that. These are just ideas to keep in mind to basically quiet all the madness that can come with being a salesperson. And what I mean by madness is that it can be easy to have a million different things to do when you're a salesperson. You have to go find new clients, you have to contact existing customers, you have to work on a proposal, you have management talking to you about, filling out the TPS reports. So you have a lot of different things to do. And if you're not organized, that can create a level of stress on you day in and day out. So one tip that I have is to basically compartmentalize your time. So if you have all these different tasks that you need to work on, really segment your time so that you only focus on one task at a time. So the way to start with that is, let me list out all the different things I have to do. I have to do cold calling, I have to do networking, I have to do some check-ins. So list out the different things you need to do. I have to do training, and basically assign different segments of the week to each task. And when you're only working on one task, quiet the noise from the other stuff. Don't worry about the other stuff and only focus on that one task. A good analogy of this is working out. If you're trying to get healthier and you're trying to work on making your body stronger, there are lots of different muscle groups. And you don't just go to the gym and work on everything, because you only work on everything a little bit and you won't get any progress in any particular area, and you'll be maybe overwhelmed that, oh, there's so many different things I have to work on. Well, if you break your body down in terms of different muscle groups, then you go to the gym one day and only work on one muscle group. Don't even think about the other stuff that you have to work on. You're only working on one thing. And then when you finish that, the next day you move on to the next thing, and you don't look back. Don't look back at what you worked on yesterday. Don't think about what you're working on tomorrow. Only focus on that one group. And so to apply that to selling, an example of that, it might be like cold calling. When it's time to cold call, turn off your phone, close your social media, close your email, don't do any multitasking, and only focus on phone prospecting for 1 to 2 hours. And that will allow you to not only have more progress and be more productive in that one area for those 2 hours, but it will improve your mindset of not being as stressed with, the million different things you have to do. All I'm doing right now is phone prospecting, and that's all I'm going to worry about. Another tip is to establish a daily routine. So, if you do the same things every day or throughout the week, create some sort of routine where every day I do this, and at this time, and every day I do this. So an example might be, you start your day at a particular time and you work on the same thing and go through the same routine. The way this may help you is, let's go back to working out as an example. You may be lazy and may hate working out and may dread it. And if you work out at different times of the week and don't have any kind of routine, it might be easy to talk yourself into saying, oh, I'm not going to do it today. But if you get in a routine where every day after work, you go straight to the gym and your workout starts at the same time every day, even knowing you may still be lazy and you might still not enjoy working out, because you've created that routine, it'll become more of a habit and you'll be less likely to not do what you need to do. And while that might not maybe increase your motivation, it can be a tactic to decrease your laziness or your procrastination, and it can help you to get stuff done. You also may want to create your own sales targets and activity targets. If you're a salesperson and you work for a company, you likely have sales targets. They could be very big targets. For example, you may have an annual quota. Well, if you have an annual quota, of course, everything you do every day is going towards that annual quota. But because that's such a big number, it can be hard to feel like you're making progress or how to figure out how you're doing against the target you've been given. So one tip that I have is, depending on what targets you've been given by your employer, you may want to create your own target. So if you've been given an annual quota, break that down to be a monthly quota, a weekly quota. And so when you have those smaller targets, you can have more clarity for how you're doing, how you're progressing against the smaller numbers, and that can help keep you focused and keep you motivated or keep you on track, if nothing else. You could also create targets. Sales quota and the metric of the business that you've closed is maybe the most important metric you have, but there are also other targets that you can create for yourself For example, there's a lot of activity that has to be done before you reach a point where you close business. For example, so many calls lead to so many meetings, and so many meetings lead to so many proposals, and so many proposals lead to so many deals closed, or whatever that funnel looks like for you. All of those different activities and steps could be targets that you create for yourself. So you might want to create a number of, this is how many calls I need to make, this is how many networking events I need to go to. And so create your own targets and actually keep track of them. And a good thing for your targets is for them to be realistic. So you don't want to say, oh, I'm going to make 200 cold calls a day or even 100 cold calls a day if that's not realistic. Pick a number that you can realistically hit so that you're more motivated, because if you create a target that's not realistic, it's just going to be something that you're going to try once and not get close to it, and it's not going to create that level of motivation. Building off of the creating targets for yourself, you could also create tools that help you to track your progress against any targets. So a good example of this might be if you're doing phone prospecting, tracking the number of calls that you make. And how you do this, I mean, you could create an Excel spreadsheet with, put like a check mark or one for each call you make, or you could use some sort of elaborate software tools for tracking. But the concept here is as you're completing activity, an activity that's making progress towards your ultimate goals, track the activity that you're completing. Not only will this give you visibility in terms of where you're at, if you need to increase your activity or decrease your activity, but by actually seeing the activity that you're completing can help with your mindset. It can help give you a feeling of accomplishment and that, you're getting something done, you're making progress, and that can feel good. It's sort of like if you're going back to the working out, it's sort of like stepping on the scale and seeing that you've lost weight. That type of result can give you the motivation you need to stay on your diet or to go to the gym the next day. So tracking that progress can help you with that. Now, a slight variation of that, and this is something that I do personally, which it's a concept of creating daily check boxes. So this could kind of overlap with your tracking progress, but it's slightly different in that there's stuff that needs to be done every day. And so for each thing that needs to be done, you could create a checkbox. And it's kind of similar to a to-do list, but a to-do list is different in that a to-do list might be unique for each day. This is what I need to do today. These are the errands I need to run. The list of check boxes are the things that you need to do every day to keep making progress towards your goal. So it's not go run an errand. It might be making an hour of cold calls, or maybe for you, it might be just making one cold call, whatever that number needs to be. If you're a business owner, it might be creating a video for your business every day, posting that video on social media. Whether you're a business owner or you're an employee, we all have administrative tasks that can build up. When you have all these like expense reports and paperwork that needs to be filled out, and you can create a stack of to-dos, it can be stressful and it can be overwhelming. But if you create a checkbox where every day I'm going to try to complete one personal task or one personal finance item. Just think of if you do one item a day, you could have a big stack of to-dos, and then it only takes a couple weeks for all of that to get wiped out if you just do one a day. So the concept here is thinking about what do I need to do each day to continue to make progress, and then check that off that list when you complete that one step each day. So this can help with your mindset in that as you're checking things off, not only do you have a feeling of accomplishment, but you can also move on to the next task. For example, if I have a stack of administrative stuff, if I complete that one task of, okay, I did my one admin task today, I filed my expense report. Okay, now that's done. I don't need to worry about that stack of items there. I've done my one task for today. I'm going to move on to my next checkbox, and I'll get back to do the next administrative task tomorrow. So it can really help to give you a more clear mindset of I have everything under control, I'm making progress, and I know what I need to do next. The last thing are some random ideas that you might want to consider for your mindset. And so, you could give these a shot, but of course, meditating is something that can be good for your mind. Yoga, reading, recreational reading or whatever the material is, your mind can get so frazzled when you're selling all day, whether it's working the phones, getting knocked around by prospects, dealing with your employer, whoever, to stop and take a break and read can help you to just kind of reset and kind of shift the gear that your mind is in, and that can help with your mental mindset. The other thing is if you're reading something that is helping you to be a better salesperson, such as personal or professional development, that's a double whammy. Not only are you improving your mindset, but you're being productive at the same time. I'm a firm believer in taking naps, in the same way that sometimes you need to reboot your computer and it performs better after you reboot. I'm a firm believer in a 10 to 20 minute nap to reboot your mind, and that you can perform better like the second half of the day after a nap, but requires some execution there. If you nap beyond 20 minutes, then it can be counterproductive. Exercising, big way to relieve stress. You can incorporate exercise into the middle of your day or at the end of your day. That's a great way to release stress, get blood flow to your brain, making your brain stronger, and that can only be good things for your mental mindset, for your clarity, for your brain power. Taking walks in the morning or during the day is a great way to clear your mind. Whether or not you kind of ponder your sales activities and opportunities when you're walking, or try to decompress and think about something completely different, is up to you. But walking is a great thing for your mental mindset.